Yes, ma'am.
When do you think you'll be at work? Because I want to be able to give Mrs. C a bit of, hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Excellent.
So we can do it in the morning, yeah.
Do you want us sitting down here or up here?
Down here.
Oh, he can't be around, so he has to go.
Oh, I know.
You know, he's got his big protege over there on the other side, you know, they're the ones that you would say.
This is the muscle.
You gotta have to.
I'll do that.
So.
1 minute.
But she said to me it was supposed to be just fine, but she was, Jamal, she didn't really make it.
I know, she said 1 minute, it's 1 second.
So I,
Yes, Jim.
and then
Town hall, how we
so that he can, but as soon as I get done, I need to get some clarification from Jody, because I couldn't, he had a, I'm gonna buy you some highlighters.
Listen, I can't afford it, that's why it's a
I'm
hard one.
gonna get you, it was.
Maybe he gets the
It was so hard, he probably had to dig down just to get that shade.
I was dipping in the water.
Thank you. It was not working. It was not working. It was not working. Not working. Bless your heart. I feel it.
Good afternoon. I'm Craig Maniglia, the Director of Communications for Sarasota County Schools. And I want to thank you for taking the time this afternoon to join us as our superintendent delivers the state of our schools. Following this live broadcast, the presentation can be found on our YouTube channel and on our website Superintendent's Corner page, along with the PowerPoint presentation. Again, we thank you for joining us. Please welcome Dr. Brennan Asplin.
Thank you, Craig. I really appreciate that. And good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight. I'm just delighted that you're here and that you're taking time out of your day to listen to our presentation this afternoon. So I want to thank everyone in here who's attending. Our district level employees are here, so thank you for being here today. And I also want to thank our board for being here as well. Thank you to the communications department for putting all of this together, and our IT department for all of their help. And also want to thank the selection committee. I know they're listening out there on the TV, and everybody who's out there watching on TV. Thank you so much for being here this afternoon. I did want to go ahead and introduce our board members. They are here today. First of all, Shirley Brown is our chair, and she is here. I'm not sure we'll be able to see her, but she is here. Also, Jane Goodwin. I think there's Jane. Jane's coming in right now, our vice chair. Tom Edwards, our school member from District 3. Karen Rose, our school member from District 2. And Bridget Ziegler, our school member from District 1, is here. So thank you all very much for being here. And I also want to, I do want to thank our board for all that they do for our students and our school district. I will tell you that they have their regular life, their regular job, regular things going on, but they also spend a great deal of time reading a lot of paperwork, many documents, talking to many employees on the phone, trying to make good decisions for our school system, and they do. They're making great decisions, and they have our students' best interest in mind. So thank you very much. I'm not sure whether to take this off or leave this on. Keeps falling off. Our mindset this year, obviously, working as one for the success of all, and really staying the course. At the beginning of the school year, when I met with the leaders of our school district, we were trying to stay the course, knowing that COVID was here, trying to get the school year started. It was a very, very difficult time. All the sanitization that we had to do, the face mask issue, the shields, trying to figure out, exactly what's the best way we should start the school year to help educate our students, obviously, and what would be best for our teachers as well. And then speaking of our teachers, they had a new way of educating our students. It was concurrent teaching, and which means that they have students in front of them all day and on the computer at the same time. Very, very difficult way of teaching, and they did such a fantastic job all year. Up to this point, they've been doing just a wonderful job. We also had quarantining, and Joey Dumas and the operating department Operations Department, along with Ms. DeBose and our Department of Health. They worked tirelessly trying to quarantine properly so that our students wouldn't be out of school very, very long. And they did a great job with that, but it was just another obstacle that was in place. Now we have around 85% of our students who are back face-to-face, which is fantastic. And then we also have been vaccinating lately. And as you know, we've been able to vaccine. We've had a couple of weekends where we have opened up vaccinations for all of our employees 50 or older at a few of our high schools. And that has gone very, very well. And we're hoping to have everyone, all of our employees, vaccinated very, very soon. So hopefully we can start next school year as a normal school year. That would be just terrific. We also had at the beginning of the year, we had elections, and everybody remembers that. We also had 2 new school board members come on board. You had a new superintendent. There were social issues going on. There were many, many different issues going on. And I just want to say thank you to everybody, because we all did come together. Everybody did come together to solve the issues that we had so we could move forward to do what was best for our students. And that's to provide a high quality education for them in their classrooms. And we did that. And I really appreciate it. And I just want to say I appreciate the district level employees, the school level employees, our community, our parents. Our parents are amazing, having students, some of them at home, and then others trying to figure out the whole concurrent teaching situation. Our parents, you're amazing. Also, our county commissioners, our city commissioners, our foundations. Our foundations have supported us so much throughout the year with all the initiatives that we've had to get started this year. And our union leaders. They have worked very collaboratively with everyone in the school district, and it's just been it's been a treat for me coming in as a new superintendent and feel and see the support that this community and the employees have given to our school system. Everybody cares so much about our school system, and that is terrific. That is awesome. So I wanted to start with who are we and what are we all about? And then move into more of our accomplishments and then our needs at the end. So first of all, our mission. And if you were to look at our mission, the school district of Sarasota County prepares students to achieve the highest learning standards by engaging a high-quality staff, involved parents, and a supportive community. And if you're able to see the screen, you'll see that I highlighted in red the people. It's students, high-quality staff, involved parents, and supportive community. That's all about the people. That's what a school district is. It's the people making it happen to provide opportunities for our students to be successful. Our school district is made up of 54 schools. 54 schools, 5,300 employees, and 43,500 students. Of those 43,500 students, 6,000 are charter school students. Our employees are amazing. I've already mentioned that today. Our school district is the largest employer in our county with 5,300 full-time employees, and they are all amazing. Our teachers, we have around 2,700 teachers, 61% of which hold advanced degrees. And as I said before, I can't say it enough to our teachers out there. You are amazing. You have done such a great job this year. I can't imagine being in your spot, teaching your students in front of you and on the computer. When I visited a few of your classrooms and I tried to do that myself, it's very difficult because you always have to be thinking about it all the time. And so hats off to our teachers, our passionate, dedicated teachers who are on the front line of this whole COVID situation all year so far. So thank you so much. These are our schools. We have 23 elementary schools, 7 middle, 6 high, and so on. 12 charter schools around our school district. I wanted to mention class size. You know, the mandate for class size for pre-K through 3rd grade is 1 to 18, but you can see our school system is 1 to 16, 1 teacher to 16 students, which is excellent. In grades 4 through 8, we are at 1 to 18, 4 through 8, the mandate is 1 to 22, so we're under the mandate again. And then also for high school, it's 1 to 25, and we actually have 1 to 19 in our classrooms in our high schools. And that just shows that we're here to support our students and do what's best to help them. with their education and high-quality instruction. Next is our transportation fleet. Wanted to mention that we have the best bus drivers in the entire world. I know that I've seen a few of them as they have picked up students or dropped off students and how they interact with students. So it's not just about driving the bus. They interact so well with our students. And you know, our students, the first person they see in the morning, who is it? Their bus driver usually, if they're riding a bus, right? And the last person is also the bus driver. And so that relationship they're building with the student is very, very important. But beyond that, we transport 17,000 students every day, 5.5 million miles a year. And like I said, that's approximately 950 routes that they travel. And then also our maintenance, our Osprey maintenance location. When I visited that location and I met the not only the bus drivers, some of them, but also our mechanics. Our mechanics are incredible people. They, well, obviously understand everything about diesel engines. They can fix anything on any bus, including tires. They even retread their own tires in our bus depot, so to speak. They are amazing people, and my hats are off to them. Food service, just some thoughts about food service. Our food service folks in our schools are truly amazing people. I know when I'm out at the schools and I talk to them, they are delightful people who care so much for your students, parents, they do. We operate at 50 locations. We have 310 food service folks. And so far this year, we've served 2.5 million meals, 2.5 million meals. And that includes our curbside meal service. So we have 44% of our students who are free and reduced lunch, and then we have students who are on remote learning, as you know, on their computer. Well, they still receive lunches. They still receive breakfast. And not only do our food service folks cook and prepare the food, they also distribute the food. So they will be out in the parking lot for drive-throughs to hand the food to our folks who are on remote learning. They also transport food to other schools. Some schools that don't have as many people or as big a cafeteria, they will transport to those schools the food for students to have that day. So breakfast, lunch, in the afternoon they provide a snack, and then their kitchens are spotless, clean. It is amazing. Those folks are fantastic, and I just love our food service folks. Our custodial team was a little bit different for them this year. They clean, they do a really good job, but with COVID, they had to do some extra things, like our touch points were sanitized, and each class is deep cleaned once a week. So they took the extra time to do that, and in between lunches, they have to clean and spray specifically because of the whole COVID situation. They cleaned 2,542 classrooms around the district, and that's 9 million square feet nightly that they clean. I also wanted to talk about our future expansion. You know, we're growing. We have certain communities around our school district in which there's growth, and we have to be prepared for that. And I will tell you that we are prepared. We are ready for the growth. And I wanted everybody to see this. So in the North County, if you live in the North County, we have identified an elementary school and a regular school site, I want to say K-12, that is pending on a purchase over in the Lakewood Ranch area. There's a K-8 and a high school that we've identified for purchase in the Fruitville area east of I-75. If you're in Central County, there's a K-8 site that we have purchased right there at Clark and Lorraine. And then in South County, we have a K-8 and a high school that are pending in Wellen Park. That's the site that's pending at this moment. And then we've identified a K-8 in Winchester Ranch and Inglewood. And then in the city of Northport, we have 2 elementary schools, 1 middle school, and 1 high school that we actually own those sites. So we have sites that have been identified, that are purchased, that are being purchased, and then in Northport that we actually own. We are ready for the growth. It's a matter of when do we pull the trigger and start building some schools, and we are working through that as we speak, looking to see what our populations look like, what new developments look like, and then we'll move forward from there based on our capacity needs. And just real quickly on our capital improvement program, we have 3 major projects going on right now. One's at Pineview. It's a classroom project. We have 50 portables out at Pineview that we're trying to replace. And that project's coming along very, very well. In Inglewood, we're replacing a 48-year-old building. And then at Booker Middle School, we are replacing a roof. All those projects are on time and going very, very well. Our budget, just a little bit about our budget. We're just under $1 billion budget, right at $1 billion budget if you add our federal money to this as well. But we have approximately $507 million in our general fund and $287 million in our capital fund. And when you look at the $507 million in our general fund, 87% of that goes to salaries and benefits. Why? Because we are a people organization. Most of our money goes for salaries and benefits. I also wanted you to know that 93% of our operating expenses are spent on instructional support, and only 7% is on administration. That is great. Our CARES Act money, CARES Act 1 was $5 million. We utilized that money to pay for a week's worth of training before school started. As I said earlier, our teachers have been teaching concurrently, and so we had to purchase little cameras and train how to teach students in front of you and remotely on the computer at the same time. And so we spent 5 days training teachers, and that money, that $5 million, paid for those 5 days. Our CARES Act 2 money, which is on the way, $25 million, that's going toward targeted intervention, which would include summer school. We plan to use it for that. Also, we need to reimburse ourselves on our COVID leave payments, our personal protective equipment that we had, and all the sanitization products that we purchased. Air filtration, those MERV 13 filters that we purchased, they cost around $900,000. And as I said, our school sanitization costs. So when you add all that up, that's going to take care of that $25 million of the CARES 2 money as it comes in. And then this year, I did ask the departments, the district departments, to try and reduce their budget as much as they could, hopefully by 5%. And they did. They were able to reduce a total of $1 million out of the district budgets this year so that we can go into next year. Since we're not sure what next year is going to look like, at least we know we were able to cut back $1 million out of our district budgets. I want to take a moment and say thank you to our foundations. Our foundations are amazing. They support us so much. I want to say a special thank you to the CEOs of our foundations, Terry Hansen, Roxy Jurdy, Jennifer Vine, Mark Pritchett, and Deborah Jacobs. They are amazing people. They are so supportive. All they want to know is how they can help our school district. And I do want to tell you just a few items in which they help support. So for instance, the Baranczyk Foundation helps us with recruitment and retainment of teachers, also mental health and reading recovery. Our Community Foundation supports our highest poverty schools. They also support the campaign for grade level reading and student college scholarships and our EdXplore SRQ grants. Our Education Foundation, that helps us with the college and career success centers that we have at a few of our schools to help our students go to the next step once they leave high school. We have teacher grants and then also the Teacher of the Year Award Night. Gulf Coast, that foundation, Gulf Coast Community Foundation, helps us with reading recovery, mental health, campaign to end summer hunger, and the Civility Squad. And then the Patterson Foundation, they help us with the campaign for grade level reading, a data position for our dashboard development that we have out on our webpage, season of sharing, emergency funds, and summer book challenges. So I want to thank our foundations for all that they do. They truly are amazing and do so much for us. This is just a little bit of what they do. Okay, so next I wanted to just talk briefly, just a few minutes about our accomplishments. First of all, we are an A-ranked district, and we've been an A-ranked district since 2004. We're only one of two districts that have been ranked as an A since 2004. That is incredible. That is absolutely incredible. 90% of our schools are an A or a B. We have a fabulous school district. It is an amazing school district. Our graduation rate is 92.4%. Last year we were at 89%, so it's up to 92.4. Our folks, we have an initiative that we call Project 10. in which we monitor our students. And our folks, our people at our high schools and in our district office monitor our students, especially our at-risk students, to make sure that they graduate. And that is why we're sitting at 92%, besides the fact that our students are amazing and do a great job. And then district accreditation, I wanted to mention that because we're about to have district accreditation. We had a group come and visit this year, and they met with 250 of our employees and our teachers at different schools, and it looks like we will receive district-wide accreditation this year, which will be different than anything we've had in the past. We normally have had school accreditation, but we will now have district-wide accreditation. And so that is just amazing. That's fantastic. And then we've also been asked to be involved with Impact Florida, and we're very excited about that. They actually contacted us to join Hillsborough, Pinellas, and Osceola as we work together in professional development targeted to the best standards, because you know now, starting next year, we will have the best standards in our ELA area with our ELA adoption. Also, among our accomplishments, as you all know, we have excellent arts and athletics. And I want to say, as I have visited schools throughout the district, one thing I have noticed is that the arts is completely integrated into our core curriculum. Our core classes have arts integrated throughout. And it's just a lot of fun to visit, especially elementary schools, to visit elementary schools and participate with them. Even in a science classes, they're learning about the solar system and they're singing a song, and there's other arts associated with that. It's just terrific. My wife and I were able to watch the Ashton Frozen presentation, and that was really a treat. Also, a music concert out at Venice. I remember at Booker High School, the men's choir was the Twisty Cones, I think was the name of their group. They're just amazing. And then Embracing Our Differences out at the Bayfront. Just terrific display of quotes and arts out there. Just terrific. As you all know as well, the performing arts centers are just amazing. I've never seen anything like it. They're just terrific. And then our sports, you know, we've had a few state championships, and I know a couple that come to mind with Riverview. We had golf win state championships. I think it was girls golf won state championships in swimming, and then I know just recently Venice girls won the soccer state championship. So they're doing a fantastic job. And just a couple other things on accomplishments. We had 21 National Merit finalists. 21 National Merit finalists. That's terrific. Also, our SAT and ACT scores, when I looked at those for the 2020 school year, we are higher than the state and higher than the nation in SAT and ACT, which is just terrific. And then also we have 18 positive behavior instructional support model schools, 18 PBIS schools in our district. A district our size, usually you might have one, maybe two. We have 18 of those in our school district. That's unheard of. It's just amazing. We have a terrific school district. So now on to challenges and areas of focus. Where are we going now? And these are the areas that I think that we have to look at, some of our challenges that we need to look at as we create our strategic plan, which, by the way, we are creating this spring, and we will be complete in August and ready for next school year with our new strategic plan. But we want to include these areas: culture and climate, achievement gap, learning gains, college and career readiness, equity, mental health, and I'm sure there'll be a couple other topics that come up as we go through the process. Just to touch on culture and climate, you know, when I interviewed here and I looked at the climate surveys, one of the things that I saw that came up quite a bit was that people felt like they didn't have enough input. And so that's something I think we need to definitely work on. Also, customer service. We can always work on customer service. Same with communication, always working on communication. So I think those are areas that we need to continue to work on and have those definitely be part of our strategic plan. Our people, you know, our employees and our students and our parents, they want to feel like they belong and that they have a purpose at their school. So we're going to include that. Next is the achievement gap, and I'm going to slow down just a second here to talk about the achievement gap with the graphs that we have here, just to explain what they are. ESSA, which stands for Every Student Succeeds Act. When we work with our target groups in our school district, our student groups in our school district, there are 5 groups that we have to report about and that we are definitely interested in working with throughout our district. Number 1, African American student group, Hispanic, English language learners, our economically disadvantaged, and our students with disabilities. So we're always looking at those. And these graphs show proficiency, and proficiency will be a level 3 or above on the FSA, which is our Florida Standards Assessment that we take at the end of every year. And what I wanted you to see here is the gap that we have. And these graphs show a 5-year trend. They go from 2014 all the way to 2019, which was the last time that we took this. And as you can see, the one on the left represents the state, and this is for reading. Reading, white to African American. The top line represents our white students. The yellow line represents our African American students. And it's a 5-year trend. You can see that the gap is just flat. The gap is not closing. And when you look at the Sarasota gap, same thing. We've closed a little bit, but it's still flat. It hasn't closed over 5 years. We need to look at this. This is something that should be in our strategic plan. The other thing I want you to notice, however, is if you look at 18-19 data for the state, those numbers are 67 and 38%. When you look at 18-19 data for Sarasota, our numbers are 72 and 40. So what that says is that our students, we have higher rates of students in the area of proficiency than the state, but our gaps are still there. All right? So, so we need to continue, obviously, to work with our students. And what's happening is it's hard for our African American students to catch up and close that gap. And so I want everybody to understand this, because I know we look at data all the time, and to me it's like running on a track. And if your competition is 30 yards ahead of you and you start at the same time and you're both world-class runners and you run almost the same speed, but you're running fast, the person in the back is never going to catch the person in the front. That gap doesn't change. They could both set a world record, but the gap's still there, right? So for me, it's all about where they start. And as you can see, these 5 years, it's flat. It's the same. They're not catching up. So where does it have to happen? It has to happen in pre-K, kindergarten, first grade. It has to happen there. Because if we can close the gap and you start at the same place on the track and everybody moves forward, because everybody's moving forward, then the gap will be closed and everybody moves forward to proficiency. So we need to think about that. We need to think about our early childhood. We need to make sure that that is definitely in our strategic plan. But that's what that means. And I do want to say I am proud of both of our groups for having proficiency levels higher than the state. Their proficiency levels are higher than the state. Our teachers are doing a really good job. We just need to figure out how to close that gap. So the next one, and I'm only going to go through a few of these, I promise. The next one is our Hispanic population compared to our white population. You can see there's a gap. And the gap is closer. There's not, the gap is less, but the gap over 5 years stayed the same pretty much. It only changed a little tiny bit. At the same time, our proficiency rates in Sarasota were higher than the state again, but the gap is still there. And that's over 5 years. And I would venture to say if you went back 10 years, you're going to see that. Same thing. And we've been talking about the gap for how long? The state has been talking about the gap for how long? A long time. We need to figure this out. And you know, I think Sarasota needs to be the district to figure this out, and we can share it with everybody else. We can do this. We can make this happen. So when you look at the next one, and again, I'm only going to go through our 5 areas here. The next one is English language learners versus non-English language learners. Again, kind of the same trend. All right? Our Sarasota students in both areas are still at a higher proficiency than the state, but the gap still exists. The next one is our economically disadvantaged versus non-economically disadvantaged. Kind of looks the same as what you've seen. And then the last one is our students with disabilities. Same sort of thing. The one thing I want to mention here is that when you look at our students, our ESE students, their proficiency rate is very low at 25%. We need to definitely be doing something about that. And also the gap. And we can fix this. And we're going to work on this. And this is going to be in our strategic plan. We are going to make it happen. So the next, I'm just going to ask Craig to just, you'll see this is math. And math looks exactly the same as reading, pretty much. So go ahead and just flip through if you would, Craig. Another one. So you can see the gaps are still there. So, so before we get to community college, the only other thing I wanted to say, I just wanted to mention on early years on pre-K, in looking at some of the research, there's research by Fernald, Marchman, and Wiesleter, 2013, and it says this: by age 3, by 3 years old, there's a 30 million word gap between children from the wealthiest families than from the poorest families. A 30 million word gap. That's vocabulary. We need to work on that. We need to be talking to parents when they're still in the hospital about here's what you need to be working on, and let's work together on this so that we're ready to go by the time they're in preschool. Just wanted to bring that to your attention. All right, next, committed to college and career readiness. This is something else that we need to place in our strategic plan. First of all, we want every senior to have some sort of plan. When they leave us, they need to know, is it going to be military, or do you want to go to work? Where do you want to work? Do you want to go to college? They need to have a plan, and the College Success Centers helps them with that. We have College Success Centers at, I think, 4 of our high schools, and that is where they can be helped with that. Our Education Foundation does a great job in our College Success Centers helping us. Also in the College Success Center, we have the free application for federal student aid. That's the FAFSA. And that is where students can find the dollars that they need to go to college. And if they think they can't afford it, they need to make sure they're in the College Success Center finding that money so that they can go to college. But we still need to work on it. We need to make it better. We need to expand it. We need every student going through these College Success Centers. Accelerated courses, we need to continue to push our students into accelerated courses. A lot of times when students take the PSAT, and that's an indicator of whether they should go into an accelerated course, we'll find students who could have been in all 6 accelerated courses in their schedule, and they're not taking any. And that's based on the PSA and PSAT and how they did, but no one maybe has sat down and talked to them about that. We need to push our students. We need to talk to our families of the students and push our students into accelerated classes. Internships, we have great partnerships with our businesses. We need to continue those partnerships and continue our internships for our students. And then career and technical education, we do a great job with that. Industry certifications, I know at SCT, they do a great job over there, and we have career and technical education in every one of our schools. But we can do better. We need to continue to help these students when they leave us as seniors for their college and career dreams. Another need in our strategic plan, dedication to equity. And as you know, we created and hired a new person, Dr. Moore, into the position of Director of Equity and Innovation. She's doing a great job. We also have a committee that she has put together, made of 25 folks across our entire district and our entire community to represent all different areas of our community. And those meetings are going very, very well. They are tasked with helping us with the achievement gap, human resources equity with our hiring processes, and then our instructional materials, make sure we have equity across our schools with instructional materials. She's doing a fantastic job with that, and we will keep this in our strategic plan as we move forward. Next is mental health awareness. Very, very important. Very important. Mental health awareness was an issue before COVID even came, and then COVID came, and now it's an even bigger issue, as you know. And besides depression and bullying, suicide issues, and substance abuse, there's family issues, there's Baker Acts. Just the whole COVID situation has caused many, many problems. And so, again, that's going to be part of our strategic plan. We have the Gulf Coast Community Foundation helps us with that. First Step helps us with that. Branzik, I think, helps us a little bit with that as well. But we need to do all we can to help our students and our employees with our mental health issues here in our school district. So that leads us to the strategic plan. And we're developing it right now, and we're going to implement it in August, the end of August, when we start the new school year. And there may be times where you may receive a survey. You might be asked to be on a committee as we look at challenges to figure out exactly what needs to be in the strategic plan and what strategies maybe or ideas that you might have to help us with the strategic plan. But we're really looking forward to it. Just a couple of more slides. I just wanted to bring up this one, which is support, our support from our community. And it talks about the referendum. And as everyone knows, the referendum, the last one, passed in 2018. And that referendum brings in $66 million, which helps us tremendously in our school district. And just so you know, these are a couple of the areas that it helps us with. First of all, helping to attract and keep outstanding teachers. As you know, we're running out of teachers. There's a teacher shortage, and it's difficult to bring in really, really good teachers from across the area, and we need to continue that. It preserves our art, music, and drama classes. It emphasizes our STEAM learning, which is science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. It enhances our safety and security. But it also has given us 30 more minutes per day of instructional time. And 30 more minutes of a day for instructional time has added 18 actual instructional days to our yearly calendar, our yearly schedule, our calendar. And if your student is with us in Sarasota County from kindergarten through 12th grade, you've actually gained an additional year of instruction before you leave Sarasota County. This is all because of the referendum. And so thank you, thank you, thank you to our community, everybody in our community, whether you have students in our schools or you do not, and you voted for the referendum and it passed in 2018. These are the things that you're helping us with. You are helping provide a high quality education for our students as they move on in their life to be successful. So with all of that said, we have a few regional town halls that are coming up. In Northport, I will be in Northport at Northport High School on April the 7th at 5:30, Venice High School April 12th, Booker High School on April 21st, and Riverview High on April 28th. And you see I'm not at Sarasota, but that's because this is supposed to be a regional town hall. So I'm trying to make it a regional thing, but hopefully you can be there, or hopefully you can be on Zoom, because this will be on Zoom as well. I want to hear your concerns. I want to hear the successes of your area of the district. I want to hear the challenges you think that we need to know about as we create our strategic plan. This is very, very important. And anything you heard here today that you want to ask or talk about, you can certainly do that at the town hall meeting as well. So we have those lined up, and I hope to see you there. And then the last thing I wanted to just say is thank you all. Thank you all for what you do, for our school system. And as I said before, working as one for the success of all. Hopefully you've heard a theme throughout that we all need to work together. We need to continue to work together in our school district, because if we do that, we will provide awesome opportunities for our students to be successful. And that's what it's all about. Why are we here? We're here to educate our students and help them in their life be successful as they move on to become wonderful citizens. And most of our students, I believe, come back to be citizens in our own school district. And so we need to work together. Everybody in the whole school district, everybody in our entire community needs to continue to work together to provide for our students. So with that, I want to say thank you again. I appreciate the time today, and I hope to see you at one of the town hall meetings. So thank you.
Excellent. This is like really good. Yeah.